Welcome to Bonus Issues. This is the digital extra for The Issue Is. We got our panel here, Leeann Tweeden from KABC-Radio in the mornings. Listen to her with Doug McIntyre. Or listen to Dick Helton on KNX 1070 News Radio. Are you guys direct competitors?
We are.
You are.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely,
We talk. We actually
course.
wake up, leave, get to the studio, and are on the air at the same time in Los Angeles.
So switch back and forth between the two of them. We're not picking sides here. I'm being neutral on The Issue Is. Caroline Heldman's here from Occidental College as well. Take her class. Okay. So we are talking about some of the other issues of this week. Kim Kardashian and President Trump. They call this the Other Kim Summit this week. Kim Kardashian really being mocked a lot of the tabloids. She's trying to help this woman who has been imprisoned and talk about criminal justice reform. What do you guys make of this whole thing, Caroline?
Well, I'm torn, right? So Kim Kardashian is using her platform and her access to the president to do something really great. And she was advocating for two women and, of course, the reform of the entire prison industrial complex. But at the end of the day, why is our president spending valuable time talking to a reality television star? Maybe it's because he is a reality television star.
You know, here's my point. Everybody is entitled to have an issue. And clearly, she hit him at the right time because obviously on what he has done over the last few days, his mindset is about pardons. So perhaps this will all work out. I think everybody has an opportunity, if they can take advantage of it, to do what they can on behalf of people who may need some help.
And on that point, the pardons of two people that were on Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump. Interesting, Blagojevich and Martha Stewart. But, you know, good for her. Whether you're a fan of her or not, look, if she wasn't Kim Kardashian, she wasn't going to get a meeting with the president. He loves that kind of thing. She loves that kind of thing. Maybe she was a little jealous that Kanye got a lot of attention with the president a month ago. You know, she's like, I got to get mine. But you know what? If she's trying to do something for good, whether she's really educated on the issue, I heard she learned about it online. You know, she heard about this woman's plight online. It's like, well, you know, maybe I can do something for her. More power to her.
Yeah.
Whether it happens or not, who knows? But she got it in front of his face.
Yeah, there's probably no other way for that issue to get to the president's face.
Go on Fox and Friends in the morning, maybe.
Oh, there you go.
He does watch that every day.
Yeah. Okay. Let's also talk about the congressional races back here at home. On Tuesday, we've got Election Day. So much of the Democratic focus has been on these California districts, but so many people are running for Congress that we could have too many Democrats. We could end up with a couple Republicans, especially in this Dana Rohrabacher district where this Republican named Scott Baugh, who used to be a good friend of Dana Rohrabacher, is running against him.
But here's the thing. Mick Jagger once said, too much is never enough. For Democrats this year, too much is too much.
Yeah.
Clearly, they could lose some of these races simply because they've got too many candidates running against each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it speaks to the energy in the state, right? That there is this national energy where more women are running for public office. Donald Trump, thank you very much. But we also see this Democratic energy and the blue wave. So I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that folks are energized and more people are running because they want to get involved in politics.
But in most of the other states, you don't have this top two system. You end up with a Democrat versus a Republican. I mean, Democrats could be shut out. The Dana Rohrabacher district, they set up the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee in Irvine just because they thought he was target number one. They may be shut out of that race altogether.
You know, like I said before when we were doing the on-air stuff, when we were doing the live TV stuff, I just think it's good that in California, that is such a Democratic state and left-leaning, that you might get voices that you don't hear all the time. I think that's what, when people call into our radio station, you know, they just feel like sometimes their values or their issues are, if you're a politician doesn't believe your value system, you're not heard, right? So I think maybe this is just something where people feel like they can get a couple of those seats and they're going to be Republican, and people might feel like, hey, they're aligned with my way of thinking.
So around the table, do you think that the Democrats are going to win back the House?
Yes.
I think they'd better be very cautious about their expectations right now.
Agreed. I think it's possible, but maybe not.
Yeah, and earlier this year there was the assumption that it's going to happen, just like there was the assumption that they would, Hillary Clinton would win and that they would win the Senate in 2016.
Don't get too cocky.
Let's talk about the other Kim summit, the one between the president and the leader of North Korea.
Wait, the real Kim, not the Kardashian.
Well, depends on some Kim, the Kim that gets less attention probably than Kim Kardashian. It matters less.
He's probably a fan.
Probably has less name ID. Now it's on again. June 12th. Hopefully this isn't dated when you're watching this. What do you make of the fact that this is going to happen, and are you hopeful about it?
I'm hopeful about it. I think that whether it's going to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, I hope so. I think that's what America is hoping for. You have to talk to do that, and I think there's nothing like face-to-face meeting. I think Kim Jong-un wants respect from the world. Look, we know his background and we know his history, but what has been going on in this country for decades has not worked with him, with his father. Something new has to happen, and I think there's a different approach, and I don't think anything bad can come out of face-to-face talks. It's more than any other president has ever been able to accomplish. Let's see what happens. Let's not, talk about it in a bad way before it even happens.
Yeah.
It's not more than any other president has been able to accomplish. Presidents avoid this trap. Kim Jong-un is absolutely not going to denuclearize.
How do you know that?
Because it is too much an integral part of his military strategy. The only reason we care about North Korea is because of his nuclear threat. So you take that off the table, and he no longer has the global power or the interest or the attention, and that's what he wants. And so he is luring us there, and Donald Trump, the question is how much of the farm is Donald Trump going to give away? We know that when he gets into negotiations, even though he thinks of himself as a great negotiator, he is a god-awful negotiator. So the question is, how much is he going to concede to Kim Jong-un? He's not going to denuclearize. It's not going to happen.
I think Donald Trump wants to be able to do, as he does often from the desk, have something that he can show to people.
Of course.
Like he does. And then get the invite to Stockholm for the Nobel.
That would be something. That
people were
meeting
shouting
itself,
out,
the concept of those two in a room, though, really is an amazing image to think about. All right, the personal issues. We're going to give each of you guys a card. This is totally randomized, and we're going to see. Give us your answer, and then we'll learn a little bit about you. So, Leann, you want to start?
First concert, my mom took me to Foreigner.
Okay, was it good?
At the Capitol Center in on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. Fantastic.
That's great.
And I loved rock and roll ever since.
Mine is dine-in or take-out? Yes.
Good answer.
And Dick passed this one on to me. Last movie you saw in a theater would be Deadpool 2.
Oh, right.
How would you think? You like it?
I thought it was amazing. It was really great to see, a transgender character unremarkably just included as a prominent person in the cast. A lesbian couple. I mean, it was kind of the progressive dream in addition to being, a little saucy.
Yeah. Great reviews that movie's getting. All right, let's talk about the next big issue. This is, what are you looking forward to most? The next big story.
Oh, God, the next big issue. When I get off the air at 10, and you probably feel the same way, it's like by the time I drive home to the West Valley, I think, oh, my God, what other tweet has come through? You're right, because President Trump, nobody has gotten a hold of that man's phone. So something is going to happen. There's you got to wake up early, you got to check his tweets. So I don't know, something that Donald Trump is going to tweet is just going to blow up again.
Nancy Pelosi is the Hillary Clinton of this campaign, and she is the motivator for Republicans.
Interesting. Interesting point.
I think the next big story is the escalating trade war with Mexico and Canada, and also with China.
Interesting point. So we got Tuesday night, election night. We hope everybody gets out there, gets educated. Hopefully a show like this helps give you some insight. Check out our podcast, by the way. We have podcasts with every single candidate for governor, and you can really dig into what they have to say and make an educated decision. So thank you all for joining us for this week's edition of The Issue Is. Everybody go vote, and have a good one. See you next time.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, he was great.
I like that you passed this along to me.
Did you look right? Were you like this?
No, I had no idea.